everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. I'm so excited to film today's video. This is one of my favorite videos to film because I get to talk about lip products, which happens to be in makeup my favorite category. So I do this project where I seasonally track the uses and progress of my entire lip product collection. And I'm going to report back to you in every 3 months. So today we are going to talk about my lip product usage in spring. So from March 1st to May 31st is how I consider spring. I know in different places it's considered a little bit different, but I think of spring that way. June already is a full summer month, although I will say this year it has been really chilly so far. I'm filming today on June 11th and it has been cold, rainy, not the nicest weather. We haven't had any real heat yet, but probably we will get it later. Let's hope so. Anyways, in spring the theme for me with my lip products was project padding. I expected myself to finish a couple of lip products, but I ended up finishing 6, I believe. I have never finished so many lip products in such a short period of time, so I'm going to share all of those with you today, and the use and progress with my lip product collection otherwise too. I hope in summer I will get more into rotating through things and not be so stuck on project panning. And I actually do have a plan for that, so I'm going to share that later in the video. But I will say that I'm really happy that I got some of the older lip products out of my collection and I don't need to worry about those anymore. So let's get into the uses and progress of my lip product collection in spring of 2025. So I moved a little bit aside because I'm going to show you here some pictures of swatches and progress. So the first picture. In here you can see my most used lip products in spring. So all of these lip products I used at least 10 times, most of them way more than that. So let's start going from the top. So my most used lip product was a lip liner. This is the BH Cosmetics waterproof lip liner in the shade Earth, and as you can see from the picture, it is kind of like a pinky rosy nude. Not super cool, but it totally has little pinkness there. And I used this one for 26 times, and I will say I'm pretty surprised that I was able to finish this. I knew that I want to finish it this year because this one was the oldest lip product from my collection. I actually think I bought it back in 2020, and these days I do not want to keep lip products this old. However, with lip liners I don't think it's quite that bad, especially if you just wear it to outline the lips, and also with lip liners if you sharpen it all the time it's not like that much bacteria is going to start gathering there. But yeah, I wanted to finish this lip liner this year and I was able to do it. I didn't think it would happen in spring though, but I'm really happy it's gone now because it was old. Oh, well, actually I will say about this lip liner that maybe I could get a couple of more uses out of it. That is how much I have left here, and what happened is that the pencil inside broke and it dropped to the floor, and at that point I considered it done and I didn't want to use it anymore. But also it's starting to be at the point where it's just impossible to sharpen. Then the lipstick that I used the most in spring is the Catrice Scandalous Matte Lipstick in the shade Nude Obsession, and I was able to finish it. Of course I could dig it out more, but I don't bother doing that for my lipsticks. When it's all flat, that is when I consider a lipstick done. And I'm at the same time happy that this is gone because this one was a little bit older. It was from 2023. But at the same time I'm maybe a little bit sad because this one was the perfect beige nude lipstick for me and I just don't have a similar one anymore. And this shade is discontinued, so I cannot even buy it anymore. But maybe the next time when I will allow myself to make any lipstick purchases, which will be in Black Friday at earliest, maybe then I will try to take a look if I can find something similar. But this one was so nice because it was really neutral. not too warm, not too cool, and it was not too light but also not too dark. It was just perfect for my skin tone. Did I already say how many times I used it? I used it 24 times. And I will say I'm a little bit surprised that I did use it so many times. This one was one of those lipsticks that my goal was to finish this year, but I thought it's going to happen somewhere later in the year. But I guess I just was so determined to finish some of these older lip products now in spring, so that later in the year I can just focus on rotating through everything and playing with my lip product collection. The third lip product is another empty. This is the Essence, the Slim Stick lipstick, and it is in the shade Over the Nude, which is like a pinky nude, and I used this one 23 times. And let me still show it to you. It is now rolled all up. This one wasn't that old. I actually bought this one last fall, but I knew it would be a really easy one to get out of my collection because it is this slim lipstick, so it just goes a little bit quicker than something that is a traditional bullet. I wanted to get this one out because, you know, last fall, earlier this year, my lip product shopping was a little bit out of control, so I wanted one more easy win. Also, while I do really like the tone of this lipstick, it is this pink nude, I don't necessarily love the fact that it was really matte. Sure, I enjoyed it when I was wearing it, but I think ideal for me with this kind of tone would be to have maybe a satin finish, because a matte pinky nude can pretty easily drain color out of my face, so a little bit of shine in the finish will work so much better for me. Okay, so next we do have the first lip product that is not an empty, and this one actually is pretty new to my collection. I bought this just before I started my no-buy. So this one is another lip liner. This one is the W7, the all-rounder lip liner, and this one is in the shade Stylish, which is like a warmer beigey brown nude. I bought this lip liner to replace the one that you can see on the bottom of this swatch selection. This one is maybe a little bit warmer, but it works really well for me. When I finished the lip liner on the bottom row, we are going to talk about that in a moment, but when I finished that, I moved using this one, especially with the Catrice Nude Obsessions lipstick. This one I used 21 times. That's pretty much for something that is brand new in my collection, but this shows that lip liner for me is really more like a useful product. I don't first pick the lip liner, I pick the lipstick first, and then I pick whatever lip liner works best with that lipstick. And I will say I really do like this formula. I do have other shades too from this line that we're going to talk about later, but this is really nice lip liner for low cost. It stays on really well. It's really creamy, and yeah, it's like a couple of euros, 2-3 euros, something like that. Okay, so next we do have a declutter slash empty. There's still product left, but let me show how it looks like so you understand why I'm decluttering it. So the lipstick broke one day that I was using it, and I have been still using it after that, but it is so annoying to apply. And this one is like a €2 Essence lipstick. I don't love the color, so I just don't bother trying to save it. I'm going to declutter it. I feel I have gotten my use and my money's worth out of it. So this one is the Essence Hydrating Nude lipstick, and it is in the shade Divine, which from the picture you can see that it is this really clear peachy shade. This one is too light for me. It's going to wash me out if I wear it on its own, and it does not work. I need a little bit more depth to my lipstick, especially if I'm going to go for brighter colors. With nudes, yes, I can go to really light colors if I do have an eye makeup that kind of supports it, then I need to have a little bit more emphasis on the eyes. But when it comes to brighter colors like this, I just need there to be a little bit more depth. So I do think this one works best for me on top of a lip liner. Maybe some days I wore it on its own just to have something on my lips, but it's not the best for me. I'm going to declutter it / call it an empty. It was something that I was supposed to finish this year. I used this lipstick 13 times in spring. Then I do have another lipstick from the same line. This one is the Essence Hydrating Nude lipstick in the shade Delicate. I used it 11 times and this one is an empty. I actually used this a lot already in winter and then in March I was able to finish this one. This color I also don't really like. It's kind of like this berry tone that just doesn't quite work for me. I don't know what it is with these colors that just don't work. Somehow they are a little bit bolder but still too muted. Like they're not nude but then they are not bright enough. I feel this sort of tones just typically don't work. And then the last lip product in this selection and also the last empty for spring is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Lip Liner in the shade Iconic Nude. And as you can see, I am so low. I'm not able to use it anymore. I was able to draw a swatch, but it cannot be sharpened. This one I used 10 times. So this one is a really popular lip liner. It is many people's favorite. Brownie nude. It's pretty neutral. Doesn't lean super warm, but doesn't lean cool either. So it works with a lot of different lipsticks. I feel on me sometimes it maybe pulls just a little bit too muted and dark, but I still enjoyed it and used it up. But I don't know, lip liner for me is not something that I want to use this much money. I think there are amazing drugstore lip liners out there, and if I'm going to splurge on a lip product, I would rather buy than a lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. Moving on to lipsticks that I used under 10 times, but I still used them in spring. Typically in these videos I still have to split this to two, so maybe the ones that I used 3 times or more and then those that I just tried 1 or 2 times. But this time, because I was so focused on finishing the lipsticks that I was able to finish, I didn't play with the other lip products quite so much. But here's the lipsticks that I used between 1 and 9 times. First we do have here a lip liner that I used 9 times. This is also from the W70 Allrounder line. This one is the shade Restricted, which I hoped would be a good replacement for the BH Cosmetics Earth lip liner. In tone I do think this is similar, but this one maybe is a little bit darker. But so far I have liked it. Okay, so next we do have the Juvia's Place Velvety Matte Lipstick in the shade Libra, which is this kind of like brownie shade. On some skin tones this would totally be a nude, and I think this line is described to be a nude line, but on my skin tone this is kind of like a light brown shade. Typically this is not a shade that I am that much into in spring, but for whatever reason I have now used it quite a few times, well, 4 times. And this one actually is pretty new. I bought this and the other Juvia's Place lipsticks that I have in my collection in January from sale. They were having a really good sale, so I got all of the lip products for about €6, which is a really good deal. Okay, so next we do have a lipstick that I impulse bought just before I started my no-buy. At that point I already knew that I'm going to do a no-buy and I just wanted to get some more nude lipsticks, but the tone of this one does not work for me really well. But I did still use it 3 times. So this one is the W7, I'm not sure what the line is called, but it's something matte. Oh, Major Mattes lipstick, and this one is in the shade Exposed, which is a really pale, sort of like yellowy beige nude. It's really sandy. If I wear this it just looks like something is off. But I do think the way I'm able to get more use out of this later is probably to make another lipstick a little bit lighter. I do think that is maybe a little bit more effort what I would typically like to see with my lip product. But if that is the way that I'm able to get use out of my lip products, then that's fine. I do regret maybe buying this a little bit because I think I should have known better, because this one is so yellow, kind of like in the undertone. And I used to have from Charlotte Tilbury from the Kissing line to say Nude Kate, which is a really yellow nude lipstick. It's even more yellow than this, but the yellowness just felt a little bit off. So next we do have the Catrice Shine Bomb Lip Lacquer, and this one is in the shade French Silk, which is the lightest shade out of the whole line, and in the promo pictures it looks like a really pale nude. Well, I will say it's not that pale. Of course, if you have darker skin tone it might be light, but for someone with light skin tone, this one actually pulls kind of like a medium toned nude, I would say, so it's not super pale. There you can see it's swatched, because I think for some reason these lip lacquers, they don't look accurate in the swatch pictures. This one I used once. All the rest of the lip products that you can see in this picture I used once. And yeah, now this is actually something that I have been using in June. I will talk about how I'm kind of like rotating through things a little bit later, but this one is in my rotation for June. And I do really like this color. It is kind of like a mauvey but not too cool nude, so really do enjoy it. Okay, so the next swatch might actually look like there's two swatches there, but it is one product. This one is the Art Deco. Now I'm not sure what the lipstick is called. I will write the name to the screen. But this one is a hybrid between lip liner and lipstick. So I have swatched it that way, like straight. So that's why the swatch looks like there's actually two swatches, but no, there's one. So this one is the Art Deco lipstick, and it is in the shade Rose Oasis. It is like a rosy shade. This one again is one of those shades that is not the absolute perfect for me, because it's a little bit too muted to be a bright lipstick, but then it's too colorful to be a nude. But I still want to keep it and get more use out of it. I actually do think it's really nice and comfortable. Okay, so next we do have another one of these, the all-rounder lip liners from W7. This one is in the shade Fling, which is like a little bit more bright rosy shade. I don't think the swatch looks quite accurate, but it is sort of like a pinky or rosy shade, a little bit brighter. There's something in this tone that I do like, but I only used it once in spring. Let's see if I get more use out of it. Now in summer, I actually think it might work under the lip product I'm wearing today, so maybe I will try that one day. Okay, so next we do have another one of these Catrice Shine Bomb lipsticks, and this one is in the shade Sweet Talker, which is like a pinky corally sort of shade. Little bit rosy, little bit pinky, but pretty warm. So you can see it there, and in the picture it looks really dark and almost like vampy and muted. So again, the pictures, the swatch pictures, for whatever reason with these lip products don't look accurate. The camera cannot pick up the color the way it truly is. But yeah, this one I also used once. This one is a lip product that I like. I do like that it has a little bit of brightness, but not too much. Okay, so next we do have my reds. I do have two red lipstick combos, like lip liner and lipstick, and I used both of them once. But let's go in order. First is a lip liner. This one is the Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner in the set Classic Red, which is more like a blue-based red. And as the name says, really classic. And this one I do use with the Mesauda called Classic lipstick in the shade Lovers, which is something that I bought from Tallinn last fall, and I love this. This is like my most perfect red lipstick. It is bright but not like insanely bright. It has blue base, but it doesn't turn too cool. It's just this really pure and true classic red. I'm not sure if I wore it in a video. Oh yeah, I actually think I wore this when we were going to a cruise, and I filmed early that morning my Panda palette update. So yes, that is when I wore this pairing. Red is something that I typically these days only wear for a special occasion, but I do think that I want to make it something that I wear almost always when it is a special occasion, because I really do think it suits me so well and I love it but then because of project padding or whatever, I have not worn red lipstick as much as I want to, because let's be real, it doesn't pair super well with all of the eyeshadow colors out there. But from now on I don't want to focus so much on making good progress on my project pans, especially on eyeshadow projects. I actually don't think I'm going to continue eyeshadow padding for that much longer, and I just really want to prioritize the type of looks that I want to do, and a classic red lipstick look is one of them. Then the another red lipstick pairing that I have, the lip liner, is the Essence 8 Hour Matte Lip Liner in Fiery Red, which is a little bit lighter and brighter and warmer red. This one also works with some of the coral lipsticks that I have. Not in this picture, but in the next one I didn't use them at all in spring, but it works with those. And then the lipstick that I have paired with this one is the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 lipstick in the shade Red Hot Susan. Now this lipstick I bought when I thought that I am warm autumn in the seasonal color analysis, which now I have realized is so far from my color season. I'm not extremely warm, if I'm warm at all, to be fair. Like, I think I am neutral, maybe leaning slightly warm, but I can totally do cool colors too if I feel like, as long as they're not too muted. Muted colors are my worst enemy, I have learned that. And this lipstick feels a little bit too muted for me. I don't know if it looks muted in the picture. Well, maybe it kinda does. It's this sort of like brick red shade and a little bit muted orangey, and I feel whenever I wear this lipstick that it ages me. Like, instantly I get 5 years more just from wearing the wrong lipstick shade, while the another red lipstick brings life to my face. I think I'm going to declutter this one at the end of the year, but I hope I could still get a little bit more use out of it. Okay, so here you can see the selection of the lipsticks that I didn't use at all now in spring, so let's just quickly go over what these are. So the W7, the all-rounder lip liner, and this one is in the shade Moody, which is clearly a more cool toned purpley nude. I think when I bought all of these W7 lip liners, they didn't have testers, so I just bought all of them before my no-buy. It was one of those dumb decisions, because if they had testers I would never have bought this one. I hope I can make it work with some nudes. Today actually I tried to wear this under the lip product I'm wearing today, but the vibe was just too purple and cool. But I have worn it now in June with the French Silk Lip Lacquer from Catrice, and that actually works really well. So hopefully I can get some use out of this and maybe eventually finish it. Okay, next we have 3 of these Juvia's Place gloss sticks, and these are actually really nice. I didn't wear them in spring, but I'm wearing one of them today. But first is the shade Stay Clear, which is just a clear color. I wouldn't necessarily wear it on its own, but I bought it to wear it on top of lipsticks. I just have not tried it yet. Then next is Rose. This is what I'm wearing today. So it is this warmer pink that is kind of light. It's just like my perfect pink, because it's bright enough but not too bright, and then it's warm enough but then it's still clearly a pink and doesn't pull peach. So yeah, I just think this is a really beautiful color. And then the last shade is True Nude, which is just like a really neutral nude. Next we do have another one of these Art Deco lipstick lip balm hybrid things. This one is in the shade Apricot Oasis, so it is an orangey shade. I think I used this a couple of times really late last year, like in December I think, but it felt a little bit too bright then, so we'll see. I think this is a color that I will get good use out of in summer. And then we do have another lipstick from Art Deco. This one is just from different line. I think this is their high performance lipstick, and this one is the shade Pomerian Red, which is a really interesting lipstick. It's one of those that is bullet lipstick that has a little bit shimmer there. So on the lips it feels completely matte, but it kind of looks like you might have some sort of a lip gloss situation going on. This color is great for me. It's bright but not too bright, and it's one of those that will make my face look alive. Okay, so next we do have a couple of Impulse by lipsticks from Essence. I bought this last fall. I shouldn't have bought them. I don't love any of the colors, but I'm going to keep them for now. Maybe at some point I will declutter them. So first is My Passion, which is kind of like a really bright coral red. This one is maybe slightly too bright for me. It's just really bright. It maybe lacks the depth that I would need for something like this, and then the fact that it is a glossy finish. I think color like this I would like more in a matte finish. I don't know, I will need to try it now in summer, but this one is like going to the little bit too bright family. And then we do have one that is way too light. This one is the shade My Choice. I thought this could be like a nice quick application lipstick, but absolutely no. This is going to wash me out and make me look like a corpse. It is a really pale lipstick, and the only way that I can make this one work is to brighten a little bit darker nude. That way this works really well, but on its own, horrible on me. Then we do have two more of these Juvia's Place Velvety Matte lipsticks. This shade Mademoiselle, which is a light peachy nude. I don't remember if I used this one in winter, but in spring I didn't, but I do think this is going to be a great peachy nude for me. I do like the fact that it is pretty light. And then the shade no, I'm sorry, this one was the shade In Vogue that I just showed you. So that is the swatch in the bottom that looks like a kind of like a burnt orangey nude. And then this one is Mademoiselle, so it is really light. So yeah, this is probably going to be a really good nude for me. The In Vogue shade is maybe a little bit too much on the burnt side, but let's hope I can get some good use out of it when I get tan and then in autumn. But again, with this kind of lipsticks, I need to make sure that the makeup otherwise is not too heavy and that there's like brightness in the eyeshadow. And then the next lipstick that you can see in the picture is the Mesauda Cult Creamy lipstick, and this one is in the shade Idol. And this one is a beautiful peachy nude. Unfortunately, I have not gotten too good use out of it because I have been so focused on using some other nudes that I have. But I do think this is going to be a gorgeous, kind of like a corally nude. I do think maybe the shade Pitch Perfect from the Charlotte Tilbury line might be pretty similar to this. Now I don't have that lipstick. I have not swatched them side by side, but it seems like that one might have the same coraliness. But yeah, this one is stunning. I have used it a couple of times since buying this, even though not now in spring, but I have loved it every time, and I just hope I will get more use out of it from now on. Then the last lipstick that I have is another one of these Major Matte lipsticks from W7. This one is in the shade Original. And by the way, even though the line is called Major Mattes, there's nothing matte about this lipstick. It's really like a satin finish. So this one is like a peachy nude. I have not used it yet, but I do think the color is going to be pretty good. I do think maybe in the picture, for some reason, it now looks a little bit darker what it is. Yes, the camera didn't pick it right. That is what the shade really looks like. So it's like a warm, little bit darker peachy nude. So I do think the color is going to work way better for me, at least, than the exposed shade that was more yellow. Maybe I will also show you a swatch of the exposed, because I don't know if the picture with that one was accurate either. There, and that is Original. Okay, so that was the usage and progress of my entire lip product collection in spring, and I still want to share before finishing the video what my plans are for summer. So in spring I was really focused on panning and finishing those lipsticks that I just wanted out of my collection, and I was actually able to finish all of the ones that I was planning to finish in 2025. So there's no lipsticks left that I really want to finish this year. The one that I know I want to probably declutter after this year is the Charlotte Tilbury Red Hot Suzanne, but I still want to get more use out of this. However, I don't think it's realistic for me to finish this one. I just don't like the color so much. But this one I think I'm going to declutter later. This one is a little bit older, not super old. I think I bought it in 2023, but still it's not something I want to bring with me to the next year. Possibly a couple of others that I will declutter in the end of the year are these Essence Caring Shine lipsticks that were impulse purchases, and one of them is just too bright and one of them is just too light and will wash me out. So maybe these I will declutter, I don't know. I at least want to get good use out of everything that is left. And I'm not actively panning everything. However, I do still want to have some focus products, because without that I will just get overwhelmed and I will get like a decision fatigue. So what I have decided to do is a little randomizing game. So let me show you my lipstick holder a little bit closer. So I do have over here this side where I can put my lipsticks, and then I do have these little places where I can put lipsticks, or then over here I do have some liquid eyeshadows too. So what I have decided to do is that these 3 spots here on the front are from randomized lipsticks. So I have randomized one for the entire summer, one for June, and I will then re-randomize one for July, and then one for each week. So the one that is going to be my focus product for the entire summer is going to be the Juvia's Place Gloss Stick in the shade Rose that I am wearing today. That's why I am wearing it, because it's going to be my focus. I do really like this color. I think this is perfect for me, especially now in the early summer. And maybe once we get to midsummer and a little bit later summer, it will start feeling a little bit too pink. But at least right now it's something that I do want to get good use out of. And throughout the entire summer I want to use all of the 3 products that I have picked at least once a week. So the entire summer I still want to wear this once, even in the end of summer. And if there's any lip product that I'm going to finish in summer, it's going to be this one. And if I finish this one, then I'm going to put a lipstick in a similar color to my wish list. I think the Charlotte Tilbury Dance Floor Princess might be my kind of perfect pink lipstick. Then my focus lip product for June is the Catrice Shine Bomb Lip Lacquer in the shade French Silk, which was like a slightly mauve nude. And I have used it a few times already in June, but I am going to then re-randomize another focus product for July. Now, if I randomize something that just feels completely off and is not something I want to focus on for the entire month, I can then re-roll, but I don't think there are many lip products like that in my collection. Maybe if I get the shade Rose Oasis from the Art Deco lip balm lipstick line, because then that might be a little bit too close to this one and then a little bit too cool for me in the middle of summer. But yeah, I think that's maybe the only one. Or then the super light sort of cool Catrice lipstick is another one. But yeah, with most lipsticks it's a fair game. And then the weekly lip product that I have is currently the Juvia's Place the Velvety Matte Lipstick in the shade Mademoiselle, which was the Peachy Nude. I have not yet used it this week, but my plan is to use it at least once. And I think with the weekly lip product, I don't want to allow myself to re-randomize, because using a lipstick once is not that big of a deal. So yeah, even if I get something that is not my favorite that season, I can challenge myself to use it once. Then I will also say that back here I do have the Charlotte Tilbury Red Hot Susan, just because I want to get more use out of it. But for that I don't have any rules that I need to use it once a week. I hope that once I get some tan I will get a little bit more use out of it, because I do think it suits me better tan than now that I'm still my palest. And yes, I am my palest because we're having such a poor summer weather so far. But yeah, that is everything for my lip product project for spring update. I will say in spring, maybe I should have said this earlier, but in spring I was working in an office job and it just didn't feel really appropriate there to be wearing really bright lipstick. I mean, of course you can wear bright lipstick, especially like a bright classic color like red, but I was working in an office in a small town where, you know, not every woman even wears makeup, and I just would have felt that it's a little bit extra to have like really strong makeup going on. So I did the makeup the way I typically do it, so this sort of makeup for example, but I kept the colors pretty neutral. And maybe that was one thing that helped me get uses out of the lipsticks that I got and that helped me to finish them. But anyways, that is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching this video and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye.